Welcome back, Warriors, to part 2 of the 10 C's of survival. The first video was on the 5 C's of survivability, and this video is the 5 C's of sustainability. Stick around. What's up, Warriors? This is Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button, and YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, so you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. So real quick, the 5 C's of survivability was having cutting tools, whether it be a knife, a multi-tool or survival knife, Swiss Army knife, a saw of some type, an axe of some type, all different ways to cut various things, whether it's your cordage, stuff off the landscape, chopping down small saplings or whatever to build shelter, to build stuff, to build tools or whatever. You're going to need some sort of cutting tool. Having cover to keep you safe from the elements, stuff that'll keep you dry, stuff that'll keep you warm, stuff that'll keep you out of the wind, stuff that'll just really ideally is help you control your core body temperature. You're going to need combustion devices, things to help you get a fire, ferrocerium rod, Bic lighters, magnifying glass, having more than one way to achieve the same goal. You're going to need a container of some sort to hold water, to transport water, to disinfect water, to drink your water, and a variety of other items, of other reasons. Most importantly is going to be water consumption. And the 5th one was cordage, and we discussed the difference between paracord being something that you can use and retrieve. You'll learn some good knots so that you could tie it quickly and effectively. It'll serve its purpose, and when you need to take it down, you could untie the knot quickly and effectively. Using bank line or tarred bank line, number 36, whole roll of it as more of your disposable stuff, whether it's for lashing things together, building stuff out of sticks, twigs, branches, and whatnot, whether it's a backpack, a shelter, a tripod, bipod, you know, various things that you would use. You use this, set it, forget it. You don't retrieve it unless you can or unless you need to, unless you have to. But this is thought of as disposable cordage, and this is the stuff that you're going to use over and over again, so take good care of it. Okay, so once we have the 5 C's of survival, the 5 C's of sustainability are like, how do we smooth it? So you've heard the term roughing it. We're just roughing it. We're going to get by. We'll get by without this. We're going to get by without that. All right, we'll just make do. The idea is to like have, you know, the right items and the right knowledge and the right skill set with good practice of using the resources around you, that you could smooth it as opposed to roughing it. So the 6th C, or the first C of sustainability, is cotton material. Cotton material can be used for a wide variety of things. So I have a XXX orange shirt that is contrast to the landscape around me. Some bandanas, again in orange, and a shamag, also in orange. Now, any one of them by itself would be okay. The t-shirt is good for if you needed to mark a trail. You could either shred any one of these things and, all right, I made it to this thing, I'm going to tie it to this branch so that when I walk to my next waypoint, I could turn around and see where I was and help me find my way in or out of wherever. If you had a wound and you needed to like patch it up and you didn't have band-aids, you could tear this off. You could use it, turn it into a tourniquet. You could use it as padding. You could use it as toilet paper. I wouldn't save it after that, and I wouldn't wipe my face with it or you know, bandage a wound with it. But you could use it too as a filter. You know, if there was, you know, debris in the air or dust in the air or ash in the air, whatever, you could use this as a means to, like a mask. You could use it for a towel. You could use it to dry yourself off. You could use it for a lot of different purposes. So having some cotton material, you could cut off parts of that, put it in your container, which we discussed in the part 1 to this, and create char cloth or char material, which doesn't require a flame to get started. If you have even a dead lighter, once you char that, you hit it with a spark and it'll catch, you blow into it, you have an ember going, and that ember is going to help you get your next fire going. The next C is cargo tape. And cargo tape really refers to duct tape. And the best one out there, in my opinion, like the popular opinion, especially people who are training with this stuff all the time, is Gorilla Tape. So this stuff, believe it or not, you could use this as a kindling source. You could use this, it's flammable. So you tear it into strips, roll it up like little tubes. If you have something to get it lit with, that'll be your tinder source to get a fire going. Take a piece of your cloth, wrap it, and you have a Band-Aid. If you have a blister coming on, you take this off, you flip it over itself so you have like a soft side against your blister or against your hot spot that's about to become a blister, and then use another piece to tape it to yourself so that now you have like a layer of moleskin, if you've ever heard of moleskin, but a protective barrier between you and, like, if it's in your shoe, on your heel, if you're hiking or whatever, or you have stuff on your belt and it's rubbing you and you're like, oh man, I feel a blister coming on, my skin's getting irritated. You could use this for that. You could use this to patch a hole in your tarp. You could use this to patch a hole if you're using the drum liner or your big contractor garbage bags. You could use this to patch a hole in pretty much anything. It'll make it nice and waterproof. It's super sticky stuff. I've used this I filled the contractor garbage bags with like dry leaves and stuff to make a big pillow or a mattress to sleep on, and the way I kept it closed was with the cargo tape. In a video we did a few weeks ago on making a survival, we took this emergency tarp. It's got like a reflective side, but when we used it in training, the corners were ripping when we started to like set up the tarp as a shelter. So to do like preventive medicine, I used the cargo tape to reinforce the corners so that when I put on my cords ahead of time, now it's strong as hell and I could really tug on it, or heavy winds come and it's not going to blow out the grommets and rip it to shreds. Again, there's a million uses for duct tape. There's a saying, if it's moving and it's not supposed to, hit it with some duct tape. If it's not moving and it should, hit it with some WD-40. So two things you should really have in any of your kits or your toolbox in your car is a roll of Gorilla Tape and some WD-40. The next C is a compass. So this is actually like my weakest link. I understand the concept of a compass, and after going to Dave Canterbury school and training, I have a better idea. But you know, he's got some courses out there specifically just on this, and I've been like, that's one of the things I'm working on, is getting my land navigation skills way better. So having a compass, obviously this tool, this one in particular, serves a bunch of purposes. So in the last video we said that there's a magnifying glass on here, which you use that as a way to, as a form of combustion. You got a nice, some bright sun, you get the right angle on the right char material, and all of a sudden, it's magic, man. It looks like it's starting to turn white, and then you look at it, and you blow on it, and you got an orange ember, which you use to get a fire going. It's got a mirror that you could use both for signaling for help. You could use the mirror for self-aid, whether you're brushing your teeth or trying to, like, hey, is there a tick or a spider bite or whatever that is. So again, this one device really handles a lot of different things. And a cool thing that I saw along the way was just having this small light on there that we were doing some land navigation stuff in the dark, and the ring glows only for so long, and then all of a sudden it was your best lessons are your hard lessons. So I said, oh man, I wish I had some sort of other light to help me navigate and use this better. And if you're going to have a compass, you should really learn what are pace beads or ranger beads and how to use them. And the purpose of these things is you have 9 beads on the bottom and 4 beads on top. You get some level ground and you walk 100 meters. Count your paces, every time your right foot hits the ground. 1, 2, 3, 100. Go 100 meters, count what you get. 100 meters back, count what you get, write them down. Do the same thing uphill and downhill, write what you get. Average all those numbers down, and that's your pace count. So that every time you get up to 60 or whatever your pace count is, you pull down 1 bead. 100 meters, 200 meters, 300, 400. When you get to the 9th one, all of them are down. Your first kilometer, you pull down one of the top ones, you slide the rest back up, and that's how you measure how far you've walked. And again, when you're using this, if you're like leaving your car or you're leaving your camp and you're walking in this direction, I want to know how many paces did I walk, and I leave a mark, or I made it 100 paces or whatever to this thing, this landmark. You write it down in your book with your pencil so that if you get lost, you could find your way back. Well, I came from this direction, this many paces, and again, it's a really, really valuable tool that I'm glad I'm learning how to use better and better. So not just for me, but to pass on to my students. The next C is a candling device. So a candling device is really just a flashlight. in this case, I always have a flashlight in my pocket, and all my kits have some sort of handheld flashlight. I usually have more than one. I'll have a pretty bright one that I use just so I could see a lot of stuff, and I usually have some sort of little one that I just use for like checking out in my bag or checking in my pocket, or something that's not very bright, but just bright enough that it doesn't draw attention, but I could see what I'm doing without blinding myself. Headlamp is good because it lets you see what you're doing with your hands free. So being able to have a light on your head that you could like direct the light at different things and see what you're doing and have your hands free to work. I'm a big fan of, it's not on right now, but my interior lights in my car are red. I like the red light because red light will illuminate what you're trying to see, but it doesn't affect your night vision. You know, like maybe at night somebody turns on the bedroom light or the bathroom light, you think, oh my God, I'm blind, and then they turn the lights off and then you can't see anything because your night vision is shot. Your eyes adjusted to the light or shocked by the light and they didn't adjust. Whereas red light doesn't do that. So you can turn on the red light and see what you're doing, see what's going on around you, but as soon as you turn it off, your night vision is still good to go. Personally, I prefer to see how much I could do in the dark with no light whatsoever. I try to like really make it a point to strengthen my night vision. I like when my eyes get adjusted to the dark and really start to learn how to see, even through your peripheral vision and stuff, see what's going on around you without the lights on. It's a pretty cool skill to have and something that you could practice anytime, anywhere, so long as it's dark out. You know, pirates used to wear an eye patch, not because they had no eye and not because they couldn't see. That was their night vision eye. So when they were on top of the ship where it was bright daylight and they were out on the seven seas, they used one eye to see everything that was going on during the day. And if they went below deck where they didn't have electricity or LED lighting or whatever, they go down there and everything's dark or maybe very dimly lit, and instead of waiting for their eye to adjust, they would close their daytime eye, lift their eye patch, which was already set for the darkness, and they could see using their night vision underneath the ship. Come back above deck, eye patch back on, daylight eye, nighttime eye. Yeah, now you can say I taught you something. All right, now I don't know if you can see this or not, but the 10th C is a canvas sail needle. So what it is, it's a really, really thick needle, which you could use for a lot of different things. Ideally would be like either using your bank line or taking the filaments, the strings that are inside of paracord or any cordage that you have that'll fit through the eye of this needle, and you could use it to repair your canvas tarps, your rain gear, your poncho, your bed liner, all the stuff that's in here. How do you use this to repair those other things, to repair your pack? Another thing is you could use this like for working out a tick, working out a splinter. You could use this for, you have a crazy blister. Send this through with a piece of cord. You clip the cord on each side and acts like a wick. Instead of just popping it, ripping it, having raw skin, you have a means of like kind of seeping out the fluids that are in there. Again, it's one of those things that you could use for a lot of different things, and I don't just have the thick needle. I keep this pretty thick one under some Gorilla Tape on the back of my knife. I have another one on the inside of, I have a couple of these Altoids tins for various things. This is like my char stuff. I have another thing with some fire starting material, but on the inside of there, again with some of that Gorilla Tape, I have more than one of them because two is one is none. I have a few different size needles because it's kind of a really thick thing that if I was trying to get through like this stuff, it'll work, but I have other stuff that might get it started and I could use this for other things. Remember that the real key is knowledge. Knowledge doesn't weigh anything. So whether it's watching videos, reading books, going and taking some classes, which I recommend all of those things. You do what you could afford, you do what you could work into your budget and your schedule and your lifestyle, but the more knowledge you have and the more you go down the rabbit hole of videos and there's just so much knowledge out there. Like we're in such a great time in history that, man, you don't have to go to the library or read an encyclopedia or borrow a book and give it back, or you go to Google, you go to YouTube, and you could learn anything about anything. The idea is not just the knowledge, but the practice, the skill set, and learning which resources to use and how to use them. So that way, the more knowledge you have, the less stuff you need. I find that kits that I've had in the past required a lot of stuff because I didn't know how to use the stuff as well, or I realized that, man, I could have something that does like 3 or 4 things that I used to carry 3 or 4 things for. So why would I carry 3 or 4 things man, that gets heavy after a while, especially hiking up and down hills and wherever. You got to carry it for a long time. It's a lot. So how do you get by with way less stuff? More knowledge. And not just the knowledge, the training. So it's one thing to know how to do something, but the practice is what gets you good at it. An amateur will do it till they get it right. A pro or a master will do it till they can't get it wrong. Make sense? So the idea is go down the rabbit hole. Get some knowledge. Get some stuff. A really cool challenge for you is take a look at the stuff you already have and start to really practice with it, because I've gone through phases where I wasn't doing a whole lot of training and I was just like, oh, watching videos, like, oh, I want that, oh, I want that, I want that, and I was buying this stuff and I wasn't practicing with it. And now a lot of that stuff that I bought, I still have it and it has a place, and I was able to make various kits, but the best thing I ever did with it was learning how to use it and practicing what I was learning. So I hope that helps. If you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching or preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification and the little part where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find us on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.